Kratos has killed his father. Zeus killed his father. Kronos killed his father. For thousands of years, the gods have been locked in an endless pattern of violence, betrayal, and patricide. Son rises against father, the cycle repeats, and the world burns in between. But here's what most people miss about God of War. The entire saga isn't just about an angry god going on a killing spree. It's about one man's desperate, brutal attempt to do the impossible, to break a cycle that has defined the gods since the beginning of time itself. And the question that haunts every game is this: can a monster choose to become something else? Or are we forever chained to the sins of our fathers? Let's start at the beginning. And I mean the real beginning, Greek mythology's foundation. In the beginning, there was Ouranos, the Sky Father. He feared his children, the Titans, so he imprisoned them in the depths of Tartarus. His son Kronos, with the help of his mother Gaia, castrated and overthrew Ouranos, becoming the new ruler of the cosmos. But Kronos learned nothing from his father's paranoia. When he heard a prophecy that one of his children would overthrow him, he did something even more horrific. He swallowed each of his children whole the moment they were born. Zeus, saved by his mother Rhea, eventually grew strong enough to challenge his father. He freed his siblings from Kronos' stomach and waged a 10-year war against the Titans. Zeus won, imprisoned the Titans in Tartarus, and became the new king of the gods. Notice the pattern? Father fears son. Father tries to destroy son. Son overthrows father. Son becomes the new father. Repeat. The Greeks called this the succession myth, and it's not unique to their mythology. The Hittites had a similar story. So did the Hurrians. This cycle of generational violence is baked into the very DNA of divine mythology. It's cosmic law. It's fate itself. And here's where God of War gets brilliant. Kratos is born into this cycle at its most volatile point. He doesn't create it. He inherits it. And for the first 3 games, he fulfills it perfectly. Let's talk about Kratos' origin. He's a Spartan warrior, already predisposed to violence by his culture. Sparta didn't raise children, it forged weapons. But Kratos takes it further. In his desperation to defeat his enemies, he pledges himself to Ares, the god of war. He literally binds himself to the cycle, becoming a servant of violence incarnate. And what does Ares do? He manipulates Kratos into killing his own wife and daughter. This isn't just cruelty, it's strategic. Ares is creating the perfect weapon, a warrior with nothing to lose, consumed by rage, bound by guilt. Ares is repeating the cycle in microcosm, the father figure destroying the family of his son to shape him into something useful. But Ares miscalculates. Because Kratos, driven by this trauma, does what sons do in this mythology. He kills his father figure. He kills Ares and takes his place as the god of war. Now here's what's fascinating. Kratos becomes a god, but nothing changes. He's angrier, more violent, more destructive. He's plugged into the cycle now, and it's using him. The gods of Olympus, particularly Zeus, begin to fear him, just as Ouranos feared the Titans, just as Kronos feared the Olympians. Zeus tries to kill Kratos, and in doing so, guarantees exactly what he feared. His son rises up against him. God of War 2 and 3 are Kratos fulfilling the prophecy, fulfilling the cycle, fulfilling fate itself. He tears through Olympus like a force of nature, killing gods, destroying pantheons, bringing about Ragnarok before Ragnarok was even a thing in this franchise. He kills his father. He becomes the son who overthrows the tyrannical king. But here's the tragedy. When Kratos finally kills Zeus, when he finally completes the cycle, the world doesn't get better. Greece falls into chaos. The seas rage. The sun disappears. The land dies. Breaking the cycle through violence doesn't break it at all. It just resets it, and everyone suffers in the process. Kratos stands alone in the ruins of Olympus, covered in his father's blood, and realizes something horrifying. He's become exactly what he destroyed. Before we move on, if you're enjoying this deep dive into God of War's narrative themes, take a second to like the video and share your thoughts in the comments. Did Kratos truly break the cycle, or merely delay it? Let's talk about it below. Now we jump forward to God of War 2018. Kratos has somehow ended up in Midgard, the Norse realm, He has a new wife who's died. He has a son, Atreus, and he's trying, desperately, to be something he's never been before, a father. But the cycle haunts him. Listen to how he speaks to Atreus in the early game. Do not be sorry, be better. It sounds like wisdom, but it's tinged with harshness. Kratos is terrified of two things: that Atreus will become like him, or that Atreus will be too weak to survive. He's caught between repeating his own father's mistakes, Zeus's paranoia and cruelty, and becoming something new. The game is literally about a journey to spread ashes, but metaphorically, it's about Kratos trying to bury his past self and learn how to be present for his son. Every encounter with the Norse gods reflects this. Baldur, the game's main antagonist, is locked in his own cycle with his mother, Freya. She tried to protect him by making him invulnerable, but in doing so, she took away his ability to feel anything. He hates her for it. He wants to kill her for it. Sound familiar? It's the cycle again. Mother tries to protect son. Son feels suffocated, controlled, destroyed by that protection. Son tries to kill mother. And here's the crucial moment. When Baldur has Freya by the throat, when he's about to complete his cycle, Kratos steps in. He breaks Baldur's neck. And he says something that defines the entire game. The cycle ends here. We must be better than this. Kratos doesn't stop Baldur to save Freya, though that's part of it. He stops Baldur because he sees himself in that moment, the son who killed his father, the weapon of the cycle. And he knows that completing that act doesn't bring peace. It brings only more pain. By killing Baldur, Kratos makes a choice. He refuses to let another son fulfill the cycle, even if it means taking that burden on himself once again. It's a paradox, right? He commits violence to stop violence, but the intent is different. For the first time, Kratos kills not out of rage or revenge, but out of a desperate hope that things can be different. In God of War Ragnarok, this theme becomes even more explicit. Odin is presented as the ultimate perpetrator of the cycle, a paranoid father figure who manipulates, controls, and destroys to maintain power. He's Zeus and Kronos and Ouranos all over again. He fears prophecy, fears his own downfall, and in fearing it, guarantees it. But Kratos' approach is different now. He doesn't want war. He doesn't want Ragnarok. He spends the entire game trying to avoid the cycle. He tells Atreus about his past, about his mistakes. He's vulnerable. He's teaching, not commanding. When Atreus makes mistakes, Kratos doesn't punish him with cruelty. He guides him with honesty. The climax of Ragnarok is telling. Kratos doesn't kill Odin himself. Atreus, Freya, and the others contain him. And when Sindri, consumed by his own grief and rage, kills Odin, it's presented as a tragedy, not a triumph. The game is saying, look, this is what the cycle does. It turns good people into killers. It perpetuates itself through pain. So why does this matter? Why dedicate 2 full games to this idea of breaking cycles? Because generational trauma is real. The things our parents do to us, intentionally or not, shape who we become. And if we're not careful, we repeat those patterns with our own children. We swear we'll be different, and then one day we hear our father's voice coming out of our mouth, or we realize we're making the same mistakes our mother made. Kratos' journey resonates because it's fundamentally human. Yes, he's a god. Yes, he fights Norse and Greek deities. But his struggle is about whether we can choose to be different from what we were made to be. Can a weapon become a father? Can a killer become a protector? Can a monster become a man? The answer God of War gives us is complicated. It says, yes, but it's hard. It's the hardest thing you'll ever do. It requires you to be vulnerable, to be honest, to face your past rather than bury it. It requires you to accept that you will make mistakes, and that being better doesn't mean being perfect. Look at Kratos in Ragnarok. He still kills. He's still violent. He's still, in many ways, the ghost of Sparta. But now he kills when necessary, not when angry. He protects, not destroys. He teaches his son to think, to feel, to choose. The cycle isn't broken cleanly. It's not like Kratos does one good deed and suddenly all is forgiven, all is healed. No, The cycle is broken slowly, painfully, through thousands of small choices. Every time Kratos chooses patience over rage. Every time he explains rather than commands. Every time he admits he was wrong. There's a beautiful moment in Ragnarok where Kratos tells Atreus, "I am your father. You are not me." It's such a simple line, but it carries the weight of everything. He's giving Atreus permission to be different, to make his own choices, to not be bound by Kratos' past. That's how you break the cycle, by refusing to chain your children to your own trauma. So where does this leave us? At the end of Ragnarok, Kratos is still alive. Atreus has gone off on his own journey, seeking the giants. The prophecy that Kratos would die has been subverted, not through violence, but through choice, through change. And I think that's the point. Prophecies in Greek mythology are inevitable. Fate is absolute. But God of War asks, what if fate is only absolute if we believe it is? What if the cycle only continues because we keep feeding it? Kratos survives because he changed. He broke the pattern. He didn't become his father, and he didn't force his son to become him. That's the victory. Not the death of Odin, not the prevention of Ragnarok, but the fact that a father and son can sit together, talk honestly, and go their separate ways with love rather than resentment. If Santa Monica Studio makes more God of War games, and let's be honest, they will, I think we'll see this theme continue. Can Kratos maintain this new version of himself? When new threats arise, will he fall back into old patterns? And what about Atreus? Will he start his own cycle? Or has he learned enough from his father's mistakes? The beauty of this narrative is that it's never truly finished. Breaking cycles isn't a one-time event. It's a constant conscious effort. Every day you choose. Every day you try to be better. And that's what God of War is really about. Not the spectacle of a man fighting gods, but the quiet, brutal struggle of a man fighting himself. The ghost of Sparta walked through fire, killed gods, toppled pantheons. But his greatest battle was always the one inside himself, the choice to be more than what he was made to be. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. This is MythMode, where we don't just play the game, we uncover the myths, the meanings, and the stories that make these worlds unforgettable. If you want more deep dives like this, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an upload. Until next time, be better.